Woo! What's up, everybody? It's Jeremy here, and I'm ocean bound. I'm heading to my home spot today at Pleasure Bay, and I'm so excited to be going here because A, it's been about a week since I've winged, and then B, I've got some stuff to demo. Thank you so much to my buddy Phil for sending me some F1 foils that I've been really eager to foil. I've got a Phantom foil and I've got an Eagle. But I think the Phantom's like the one that T2on uses, but I'm not 100%. But it definitely looks like it's a good all-arounder. So man, I'm super excited to try that one. The wind's kind of whipping right now. I want to say it's like 20. I'll show you the flags in a second. There's one flag out, thank God. So I'm probably gonna start at least with the Phantom and then see where I can go from there. Oh, I love this parking spot. It's a good one. I brought my 4.5 meter and my 5.5 meter and my FG board. It's gonna be cool. So I think I'm gonna be on the 4.5, although I do love being lit. So we'll probably do the 4.5 just so I can see how like the light wind kind of pump is with that. I'm really excited to learn, especially with the Phantom, to see how it goes rail to rail. I've been on these high aspect foils for a long time, so I want to think and hope that they're carvier. I don't know how long this fuse is, so that's going to be interesting too. I want to see how they jump and re-enter into the water. I want to see how they can kind of pump. Why am I waiting here? Let's go check it out. Let's go. Woo! Phantom 1080. Eagle 990. 85! Aluminum, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of light. All right, hardware, nice.
Boston, we say hardware.
Little screws.
Where am I gonna set it up?
I think where I usually set stuff up, I guess. 3 screws. It's a solid connection. It's a really long fuse. And I have this other fuse that's attached to it. It's really short. Oh, they're very different. Carvy, flat. All right. The flat's definitely for the high aspect Eagle. It's funny, at one time this is probably considered high aspect. Nice attachment, cool. Man, 85. 85 mass seems crazy. Whoa, that's my normal 72. All right, they're the same. So, the masts are in the same spot, but I don't know what the foils are like. Is nice. Stoked. Screw on either side, that's interesting, but cool. This is just like the cab. A nice square. And the fuse is kind of squared off too. Anhedral, dihedral. Cool. Is it good? That's awesome. What were you on, a 9? Oh. Okay, cool. Here is Solites. 2 mils. They've got this annoying thing in between your toes that I'm not a fan of. I had to cut them out by their direction. And it's still annoying. What a gorgeous evening. All right, we got 4 or 5 windsurfers, 3 wingers, 14 kiters. Woo! And that. Woo! I love it when the flag goes up. So I'm gonna do my 4.5. That should be plenty. It's definitely blowing 20 and more. Let's pump it up and get out of here. Nice job in there and there. down the fuse. All right, let's go give it a try. Fuse. Dang. No, 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 no. Okay, so I ended up getting a few sessions so far on these foils, but for this video, I'm going to focus on the Phantom 1080. I was able to try a couple different variations of fuses and stabs, so, here are my thoughts after a couple sessions. The Phantom is super easy and comfortable, but I feel like it had a really nice carve to it. Like the rail to rail just felt really good, and that is coming from the fact that I'm usually on a 72 centimeter mast, and this is an 85, and so there was a noticeable change in that alone, but it just felt comfortable to be able to carve from rail to rail, even with the longer mast than what I'm used to. Downwind jibes felt really good going slow, and then also at speed, and it felt solid when changing my stance and doing turns. So that's a really nice feeling to have when you're riding waves. Stability and nimbleness are just an ideal combination. At first I didn't really get the options that I had. I kind of thought the tails and the fuses came together. So then I started on the short fuse, which happens to be pretty long in my opinion, and the C275 surf stab, which now I see on their website it says it's for beginners. So I clocked the setup at 22 miles an hour a few times, which seemed pretty fast, but it was super stable at those speeds, and it had solid pitch control. I feel like it wasn't trying to nose up or nose down. There was no wobble, a feeling of like being out of control or anything like that. I was expecting it to be on the sluggish side because of the lengths of the fuse, but it was actually quite maneuverable, and I feel like I could aggressively carve on it, even with this small fuse. For low speed takeoff, I was on a 4.5 in one session, and for sometimes underpowered and sometimes overpowered, but I was kind of stoked to have this when I was underpowered. I didn't have to get up to a certain speed, it just kind of wanted to pop up on foil, and I can imagine the 1280 pops up even quicker, and then probably the 980 or the 940 must take a little more power or some skill to get it up. I did try to pump it, and it wasn't bad. I was kind of thinking it would blow me away, because I feel like they kind of market the pumping stuff with these wings, but it was totally fine. I'd say it's the same as my Armie setup, but maybe has a little more glide, but it was no epic glide or anything. I think you'd have to have a way wider wing for it to be like that, but nothing epic. I feel like with some practice, I'm sure you could dial it in, and people seem to love this thing for prone surfing from what I read. The water re-entry isn't the same as my high aspect Armie stuff, but it was still good. The recovery is just important, and it always seems to want to get back up on foil. On re-entry, I feel like there's a little instant drop in both speed and lift, but then it kind of recovers once the bubbles pass and you're probably still on foil or back up on foil, albeit a little slower. My buddy rides the Phantoms, and he was telling me how the flatter fuse is really nice. So I switched to that halfway through my first session, and that's the DW, the Downwind 210. And so I also switched to the extra small fuse, the XXS fuse. And so I assumed this would be a lot tweakier and unstable, because when I go from my 60 down to a 50 centimeter Armie, it's definitely way more pitch sensitive. But this really wasn't the case with this one. In fact, I feel like it had the same stability, and that even transferred to the same stability at speed too. And it felt faster, but I actually clocked the same speeds as I did with the 275 and the small fuse. So when comparing the F1 extra small and the Armie 60 centimeter, the 60 centimeter is shorter. So I'm super interested in the XXXS fuse too. I was able to try my friend's C200 stab, and I'd say I definitely preferred that one the most.
It's got these little
and
nubs.
I bet you'd probably really love that 195
like
surf
not winglets,
stab. It's funny that the website says that the 275 is a high performance stab with a loose feeling, but it's pretty big compared to what I usually ride. But the good thing is the 275 doesn't feel draggy, so it's still efficient. And these don't seem to come with shims too, so I feel like that just makes things simpler. So, for whatever it's worth, I preferred the 200
200, then the 210, then the 275 in that order. In ways, the 1080 feels slightly big, but it did everything I wanted it to. So it's funny to think that I'm considering the 1080 big, but I guess it's because I ride my Armie high aspect 925 pretty much all the time these days. I definitely want to try, and I think I'd prefer the 980 and also the 940. I don't really get the design difference between the 980 and the 940 from reading on their website, but supposedly you could go faster while surfing waves, bigger on your jumps and tricks, and make sharper turns. And I know the aspect ratio on the 940 is a 6.5 versus the 980 is a 6. So hopefully I can try one or both of those soon so I can see what the deal is. So all in all, I'd say the 1080 is a solid, all-around fuse that excels in many areas. And I would say accessible, definitely. Would I recommend these to a beginner? Maybe the bigger sizes, but I don't think you should really think that you have to get to a certain skill level to use these or unlock them. I think these are really awesome wings that will take you to the next level. I mean, you see the pros ripping on them, I can agree. They rip, they turn really nice. I really like the way they ride. All right, that's enough for now. Will I be switching to F1s? Not now. I'm pretty convinced the smaller Phantom sizes will feel better and may impress me more. Not that this doesn't impress me, it's definitely a cool wing. But as I said, my next goal is to try the 980 and the 940, and I'm really interested in trying those with, let's say, the 200 carving stab, or definitely with the CE 195 surf stab. And the XXX fuse, the Triple X fuse. I was always a big fan of the Triple X Change Addiction album. And I'm pretty sure with 75 or an 85 carbon mass, I'd really probably love these things. A huge thanks to Phil at kitesite.net for sending these foils up to demo. He's got a ton of wing and kite stuff, and lots on sale right now, so feel free to give him a call, and he can usually drop ship stuff out that same day. Alright, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope to do a separate video on the 990 Eagle pretty soon. I could really use another session or two because the two that I've had so far were kind of mediocre at best. But it's a really nice foil, and I want to talk about it. I love the turns on it. If you want to see some more of my videos, please consider clicking that subscribe button, drop a comment, let me know if you've ridden these F1 Phantoms, and let me know what you think. And with that, I hope all of you guys are doing well out there. I'll see you guys soon on the flip, and I wish you all an awesome day. Later!